Violation is a brand new Shudder original that I got to watch yesterday, and this is what is the plot of this movie? Um, Actually, that's kind of tough because I feel like that would be a spoiler if I gave away what kind of movie it is. Fuck. I don't know what to say about the plot of this movie, but there's two couples that are up at a house, and there seems to be an issue between one couple, and the main girl of the movie has some secrets that are about to unfold, and she's gonna. That's a tough one, man. That's a real tough one. I really don't know. I don't really know what to say about the film, except for that this film really didn't work for me. Um, I know it may seem like that's obvious because you're like, how this guy can't even give a plot synopsis. I'm trying to be vague because I'd like to respect the fact that the film should be experience blind for the most part. But I can tell you more about the film than the plot synopsis, which I think is the most important thing here. So the film is very artistic. Okay. I do think that this film will have its audience for sure. There are going to be people who think this is great. This thing has like a really high Metacritic score. I think it even has 100, which is just that's cool. I just, yeah, me personally, that obviously is not where I'm coming in on this film. I don't know exactly where that number would be, but it wouldn't be a perfect film. But this will 100% for sure have its audience. The film just felt very pretentious to me. Very pretentious. And I don't use that word almost ever on my channel. Like, I'll use it sparingly, to say the least. The film is too slow for its own good. It's very much style over substance, but that's not to say that there isn't an attempt at a lot of substance within the, subtext of the movie. There is. And this film kind of deals with an unreliable narrator, which I thought was quite good. And I think the premise of this film, from what I took from it anyways, my own interpretation of things, is quite good. And is something that I would like to see explored in a way that more appeals to me personally. I think that the acting is really good across the board, especially from the lead actress. I think the film is well shot. I think the film has good intention and meaning to it. I think that the premise is fairly solid. It's the execution that I just don't line up with. I find that there's too many throwaway dialogue scenes. Now, as I said, for the people who this works for, I think they're going to think I'm crazy and be like, what are you talking about? Everything has purpose. Or that's the intention behind the film. And that's to set this kind of mood or tension or atmosphere or whatever. Okay, that might be true, but for me, it didn't work. For me, it didn't work, nor did it work for who I was watching it with. We were both kind of just looking at each other, and being like, well, I shouldn't say looking, we were texting each other, but we were just both kind of like, wow, this film just feels like most scenes are pointless. It's the dialogue, I don't feel services the plot or the characters very well. Like, it feels like a random conversation that you come upon that you have no real context for, and I don't really feel like it services the plot to the point where it's going to push any kind of drama or anything forward that's going to make me attached to any character. And that's another thing. I didn't attach myself to or care about anybody. And I know that I'm supposed to. One of them in particular, for sure. Even if you're questioning whether or not what's happening is legit or not. That's fine. And I do like that kind of stuff. I'm a big fan of that kind of storytelling where you don't know exactly what you're supposed to believe or what you're seeing and if it's true. And that's all fine and well. It's just the execution for me was tedious. and there's long shots of nature, and I get it. The nature shots are supposed to be metaphorical for, one of the characters. I understand that stuff. It's just how it's paced and how the film plays out, and it's a shame because there is a kill sequence in this film, and it's quite long. It's pretty drawn out. And I feel like that stuff is really brutal and super realistic and kind of, I shouldn't say kind of, it's really fucked up. And I liked that stuff. I did like that stuff. And I will give the film credit for being so technically proficient with acting and shots and whatnot. I think all that stuff is good. This is why I know that this film's going to have its audience. It's just that audience isn't me. And maybe I'm just not, intelligent enough, or maybe the subject material just doesn't appeal to me in the way that it's supposed to, or unappeal to me in a way that's profound. I don't know. But whatever it was, most of the film I found myself to be checked out, not engaged, kind of hoping that it was going to end. And that's not the way I should feel during a film, right? So overall, I think that if you're into slow burns that have a lot of style attempts to them, and they're trying to send, I don't want to say it's a message, and I definitely don't, I hope people aren't throwing the word agenda around behind it, because I think it's the opposite of the agenda that some people might point their finger towards, which is what I like about the film and what I would have liked to have seen explored further. But yeah, okay, I've beat around the bush with this film long enough, but it's not for me. But let me know if it was for you. I'll be very curious on people's thoughts in the comments. I'm sure people who already saw it and loved it will be coming to look for reviews and think I'm a total crackpot. But this one wasn't for me. Too slow, too drawn out, and I like slow. Okay, there's plenty of fucking slow films I like. All right, it's just I'm not connected with anything, and I personally don't like how things played out and the time jumps. You're always confused on where you're at in the movie and how this applies, and that makes it very hard to follow and connect. And that's the big thing, connect. I'm not connecting to anything. But anyways, let me know if you watch it. Adios.